Hi, I'm Joe Ross, and I'm going to give you a presentation on the environmental impacts of coal extraction and combustion. When dealing with the environmental impacts of coal, there's two major parts. The extraction part, along with the combustion part. They're two separate entities, but they're both very important and both have very dramatic impacts on the environment. To start, we'll do the pre-combustion, and through pre-combustion, it's mostly through the removal techniques to actually extract the coal from the earth. Those three major techniques are mountaintop removal, and it is just what as it seems. Here we have an example of a mountain that was originally covered in these beautiful green trees, and then after the removal, the mountaintop is now bare. There's contour mining, which is where they find the coal within a mountain and then they drill at a certain point within the mountain. That way they don't have to drill throughout the entire mountain. And then the final one is strip mining, and strip mining is basically going layer by layer until they've extracted all of the coal. And then the environmental impacts of these are, we have water pollution. During the coal mining process, a lot of water is being used, and it actually becomes very acidic. And since it's impossible to harness all of that water being used, it actually runs off into waterways. And one example of this is actually a local river, the Red Meshanan River. It's a local river that was actually, it's no longer inhabitable due to acid mining runoff. For sulfur, to be exact, the acidity in the river is actually too high now to where there's no more wildlife or algae. There's land disturbance from tree removal and soil erosion. As we know, tree removal is very critical in the regulation of CO2 in the atmosphere. The more trees you remove, the more CO2 that's in the atmosphere. And also by soil erosion, which is critical when it comes to fertility within farms. Then we have air and noise pollution. Air pollution in the form of dust. Dust obviously has adverse health effects for people in the surrounding area. And then noise pollution is what it is. It's a very noisy process. And then on this side we have coal bed methane. This is methane that occurs naturally within coal beds, and that also has major consequences on the environment. So then we have the combustion of coal. The coal combusts into numerous flue gases, as we all aware. Most notably, we have carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrous oxides, or NOx, mercury, and then particulate matter. The problem with all of these is the majority of it is greenhouse gases. So, what are the impacts of these individually? Obviously, carbon dioxide is the major pollutant, and it's obviously one of the major greenhouse gases. We have sulfur dioxide, which causes acid rain, which causes acidification of lakes and streams and water sources. And then it also decays building materials, and it destroys trees. Then we have NOx emissions, obviously, is also another greenhouse gas. Mercury and particulate matter both have health effects. Mercury has a lot of effects on children, including their neurological development. Particulate matter in the form of, it can mess up your lungs. And then coal bed methane, methane is actually another greenhouse gas with the potency of about 21 times that of CO2. And then it also has a major safety hazard for those within mining, because it is a very combustible gas. So how do we solve this problem? We can reduce our dependence on coal, and how do we do that? Obviously, we steer away by investing in renewable and sustainable technologies. We can also begin to use the Western soft coal. Soft coal is basically coal that is lower in sulfur content compared to the coals of, say, West Virginia that have a much, much higher sulfur content. This will obviously reduce the emissions of sulfur oxides. So we can also advance our technology and processes in coal processing. What people don't know a lot of times is coal is actually processed before it is burned to help remove some of these sulfur particles. So pre-combustion, obviously, there's a very established technique to help remove the inorganic sulfurs within coal. To improve, you can improve by finding ways to remove the organic structure, the organic sulfur structures. It's been proven to be very difficult because the sulfur is actually part of the coal organic structure. And then also you can do post-combustion techniques. Obviously scrubbing technologies are very, very popular, along with substituting in DEA. There's also other technologies and also overall processes that you can use. You do fluidized bed or fluidized combustion, for instance. So that's my presentation. If you have any questions, please contact me. Thanks.
Yeah, that was good.